Please welcome to the stage, Pete Zedlacher! It's been a year since we saw each other last. I had a big year. I had a big birthday. I took my girlfriend down to Las Vegas to celebrate my birthday, and I came back with a fiance. Oh, I know. Girlfriend is pissed. She is pissed. All good. Second attempt at this for me. Listen, I heard this phrase and I really subscribe to it. Marriage is a lot like pancakes. Right? You're allowed to burn the first one and throw it in the garbage, and then you make a really good one the second time, right? A little icing sugar, blueberries. So she's shopping for rings, wedding bands, right? And I said, don't I just get one that matches yours? And she said, no, you can pick your own band. I said, I can pick my own band? Yeah, pick your own band. So now I want a ring that gives me the strength of 10 ordinary men, like Hercules. Hercules. I want a little sidekick named Newt at the ceremony. This is a joke only for the 40-plus crowd. This 60s cartoon we watched in the 80s. Made no sense. A lot of the stuff we grew up with in the 80s didn't make sense. It was crystal clear to me. I was watching my young nephew. He's playing the PlayStation 5. He had the headset on, the microphone, and he's talking to friends all around the world, and they're converging onto this game. It was fascinating to watch, right? And he said to me, did you like games growing up? I said, yeah, I love video games. What kind of games did you like growing up? You ever tried to describe Donkey Kong to a young person today? I love Donkey Kong. What was Donkey Kong? Well, Donkey Kong would steal the princess and he'd climb to a series of ramps and throw barrels. All right. And he was a donkey? No, he was a gorilla, okay? So you're a knight? No, you're a plumber. Wow, this doesn't make any sense. There was a lot of drugs in the 80s, okay? That's what... And in Kelowna, apparently, yes. But even the TV shows we watched in the 80s, like I was trying to describe my favorite show was Knight Rider. I love Knight Rider, right? I love the show, right? Right? Try to describe that to a young person today, right? Knight Rider was cool, right? It was about a show about a car that could talk. Like Siri? Well, no, not like Siri. Like the car could start up by itself, like a remote starter? No. No, it could start up on it could talk, it could drive. The car could drive by itself, like a Tesla. Oh, you're right. This show does not hold up in 2023. We are all Knight Riders. So I thought I'd win him back. With my favorite show, right? A-Team. I loved A-Team, right? I loved it. Some A-Team fans. Cool show, right? What was that about? I said, well, it was about 4 paramilitary guys, right? And they all had their special skill, okay? There was the general. He loved it when a plan came together, right? There was a face man. He was the con artist. He was cool, right? You know Mr. T. He was on the show. He was B.A. Baracus. He was the muscle of the A-Team. And the 4th guy had mental illness. Oh my God, that's terrible. Did they get him help? Not at all. No. He messed things up a lot. He'd run around, his hair was all crazy, we laughed. It was a comedy character, we laughed at him. Ha ha, look at him, he's got mental illness. Ha ha ha, he's in crisis, it's funny. Mean. That's how we dealt with mental illness in the 80s. It was funny. There's nothing funny about transphobia, right? There's something very funny about the people who have transphobia, though, you know? You see them on the news, right? They're in front of something, they're protesting, men are men and women are women, and don't put it upon me, because you want to pretend you're something that you're not, you know? These are the same guys that wear camouflage in public. I know what you are. Don't put it upon me, because you want to pretend you're a tree. I know what you are. Almost an applause break on that one. You guys were like, is it okay? It's okay, I swear, it's okay. Down in America, a lot of big camouflage down there. Big camo. I was in a Walmart, they were selling 8XL camouflage. I saw. It's like double, triple, quadruple, 4 more. I don't even know what it is. Just 8XL. If you're wearing 8XL camouflage, you're not camouflaged, okay? Right? You're a walking, wheezing bush. Oh, God. Woo! There's a lot of steps in the forest here. Jesus. Are there Americans joining us in the audience? I should have asked that before I did any of these jokes. That was a good laugh there. That's good. This is what I do. I make people laugh. This is my job, right? And even when I'm off stage, I like to make people's day, you know, be a little funny, be a little weird sometimes, you know? I like that, you know, somebody goes home at the end of the day and how was your day? There was a weird guy. I like being the weird guy, okay? My buddy Paul, he calls them life skits. I call these random acts of weirdness, okay? So this is my latest one. You feel free to use it, right? So when you go to the grocery store now, there's somebody at the exit, right? And there's an employee just standing there and they just say, "Thank you very much, have a nice day. Thank you very much, have a nice day." And I thought that was polite. I thought they were there for politeness. Then I found out they're there to discourage not kidnapping. What's the TV taping night. That's why I thought, perfect. Kidnapping. Yeah, it was a kidnapping. They're there to prevent kidnapping, guys. I shop at some rough Sobeys. There's come on, kid. Oh, there's a guy there. Get out of here. Get out of here. All this is going to be cut out. Doesn't matter. You won't see it. They're there to discourage shoplifting, is the word I was looking for. So this is what I like to do, and feel free to do it, right? So I'll get my groceries, and I'll pay for them, I'll put them in my bags, right? And then as I'm leaving, the guy will say, "Thanks very much, have a nice day." I say, "What? No, nothing." And then I run as fast as I can, right? His face is like, "Oh, what do I do?" It's fun, try. Down in America, they find out I'm Canadian, they try to bust me a little bit, eh? They're like, "You're from Canada, right? We're all about freedom down here, you know? You still wearing your masks up in Canada?" No, you still taking your shoes off at the airport down here? All right, freedom. Freedom. Right? It's just a little different down there. They have their own language. Americans have their own language. They spell words differently than us, right? They just drop the U out of a bunch of words, right? Flavor, armor, favorite. They just got rid of it. And I found out why. When they created the American dictionary, they just arbitrarily cut out the U in a bunch of words, published the book, and then the rest of the English-speaking world looked at it and went, "Oh, pardon me, hello. Seems you forgot the U in a couple of them words, eh? All right." And America said, "Fuck you." And that's how they developed their foreign policy at the same time. And they find out I'm Canadian. They're fascinated by our system up here, right? Because down there, everything's a political issue down in the United States, right? Like guns and guns is a big one. Hey, there's just groups of Americans that are gun fetishists. So they say, "I want a gun. I want 7 guns. I want my dick to be a gun. Gun. I was performing in New Orleans, Louisiana. "Who dat?" That's what they say down there. "Who dat?" Right? That's how they cheer on their football team. "Who dat? Who dat?" Right? And I'm Canadian. I'm like, "Are you trying to say who is that?" Who is that? Who dat? Who is that? So I'm at the New Orleans airport, right? And there's like that long security line that snakes back and forth, right? So you get to the one wall, there's a big sign, "No guns allowed beyond this point." And I laughed when I saw that, right? Because we don't have that sign in Canada, right? In Canada, we just know, don't bring your gun to the airport. It happens so often in New Orleans, they put up a sign. Somebody got fed up, they just put up a sign, I guess, just, "No guns allowed." What? You see that sign before? The one up there? Bang, bang, bang. That one right there. So then you snake back to the other wall, right? Same sign, no guns allowed beyond this point. But then pictures of guns. Pictures, dozens and dozens of pictures of guns. Like it's a menu at Denny's. Like, ooh, that looks good. I like that one. This sign wasn't enough. They had to put up pictures of guns. So clearly somebody showed up, saw that sign, no guns allowed, but my gun's okay though, right? Like it's fine. Oh, they got a picture of my gun. For fuck's sakes. Fucking Obama. Jesus Christ. Everything's a political issue because they're always in a state of elections, right? They wrap up presidency and then they're running for senator and governor and gubernatorial races and runoff races and then weird things. They vote for sheriff. You vote for sheriff in America. What, is the last guy hanged? How's that work? Is this Deadwood? Coroner is another elected office. How do you even vote for that? How are you with a knife? Interesting. Okay. Comptroller is an elected office. I don't even know what it is. I'm running for comptroller. What do? I make sure things don't get out of control. So I got... Then my American friends asked me, how's it work in Canada? Do you have like a presidency? I said, no, we have a prime minister. Is it like every 4 years? I said, no, we don't have a schedule like that. It's up to the prime minister to call an election. They were fascinated. They're like, what? It's up to the prime minister to call an election? I said, yeah. They were like, what happens if they don't? It's never come up, actually. It's never actually come up. I gotta write a letter when I get home because that is clearly a problem. I was down in New York back in November. This is for real. I ran the New York City Marathon this past year, and thank you. And I won. No, I didn't. I'm not a 90-pound Kenyan man. I did not win. But I got the same medal that the guy who did win has. I got the same one. Finisher, yeah. Isn't that amazing about marathons? You get the same medal, cross the finish line. Did you win? Amazing. What was your time? Whoa. Yeah, same. We're the same. Yeah. 1,141 Canadians ran the New York City Marathon. You are looking at 1,135th place right here. There are 7 Canadians out there going, ooh, I wish I was as fast as that dad bod over there. Look at him. Next time. It was one of those moments in life where it was happening and I had all these thoughts in my head like, I can't believe it's happening. You know, I've trained so hard for this. And it's a bucket list moment and it's so exciting. At the same time thinking, oh, I hate it. I fucking hate this. Why would I do this? And they have photographers all along the route, right? And they take your photo, and you can see them coming up, right? So I'd show off every time I saw the camera. Then they send you those photographs when you're... And they send them to you chronologically. So the first 5, 10, 15 kilometers are all like... 20, 25, 35... I went down to Mexico after the lockdown, and it was fun. You can spot the Canadians in Mexico. Hey, do cerveza, por favor. Right? It was like, oh, yeah. The other giveaway, you're Canadian in Mexico, sunburnt. Oh, Canadians. So embarrassing. We forgot how to work the sun, hey? I got sunburnt so bad, like red, white, red. I looked like our flag. I looked like the flag. I think that's how we got the flag, actually. Some Canadian back in the day got sunburned, and they went, that looks pretty good, actually. I like that. You know, put a little leaf down here. I kind of like that. I would salute that. I do like sun destinations. I went down to Jamaica a few years back, and when in Rome, get high. Hey, we got high. Oh. My buddy said, let's get some ganja cake. I said, what's that? He said, well, they put the marijuana right into the cake. I said, that sounds awful. That sounds... So even the guy who sold us the ganja cake said to us, listen, guys, do this back at the resort, man. That's not a good sign when the drug dealer says, you should take it easy on this. Like, that's... So we get back to the resort, and I told my buddy, I said, you have the first slice. You have a little piece. You let me know how powerful it is, right? About half an hour later, he's like, it's no big deal. Don't even worry about it. It's nothing. It's fine. So I had half of a piece, and about 20 minutes later, I was like, I have to go lie down. I have to rethink my life. So I'm in my room. I'm on my phone writing jokes. I've got my notes open and I'm writing jokes, right? My fiance comes in and says, are you okay? I'm like, oh, I'm writing jokes. They're amazing. They're coming right out of me. Now, I've got comedy friends who smoke pot, and they always say the same thing. I smoke a little pot and I get creative. I write lots of jokes while I'm high, right? And I read this study that came out last year. It was fascinating, right? They did a study of the relationship between marijuana and creativity. And they found out marijuana doesn't create creativity. It creates the illusion you are being more creative. So on that note, I'd like to perform all those jokes that I wrote in Jamaica for you tonight. Are you ready? Here they go. Climate change, more like ganja cake. That's everything I wrote. That's every joke that I... Really makes you think. I do like Mexico. That's my favorite sun destination. By round of applause, how many of you have been down to Mexico? You go down to Mexico? Oh, you do it, eh? Canadians, we love Mexico. We love the people. We love the culture. We love their food. We love their pharmacies. The farmacia. Ay, ay, ay. These Mexican pharmacies are fun, right? You walk in there, there's a guy behind the counter, and then on the wall, you got a big menu of all the drugs you can buy, right? You walk in there, hola, gracias. Prescripcione? Is that it? No? Okay, yeah. All right. I'll get some Adderall and some Darvinex. I don't even know what it is. It's $5. Just fucking try it. Yeah, I'm gonna do a cycle of anabolic steroids. Fuck it, let's try it out, you know? And throw in a couple boxes of boner pills. Let's get this party started. You know? Gotta watch out with the Mexican Viagra, guys. Watch out. It's like regular Viagra, but halfway through, takes a little siesta. Just... It's good to go. Wasn't all good news this past year. I got in my first car accident, and I'm fine. Fiance's fine. We're fine. Car was not fine. And this is one of those things, too. Growing up in Canada, I was always told, you know, watch out for moose. You heard that, right? Watch out for moose at night. The moose, they come out on the highway, boom. And I've had friends that have hit moose on the highway, too, and they always say the same thing to me. You never see the one you hit. You never see the one you hit. Well, I saw this fucking idiot. I saw idiot. And it wasn't a moose. It was a deer. The meth head cousin of the moose, right? I can't even do an impression of a deer. That's how dumb they are. A moose has a noble call, at least. That. You hear that? That demands respect. That is the best moose call you're going to hear in this theater, guys. That is the best one you will ever hear. Can't even do an impression of a deer. Hey, let's go to Tim Hortons. Coming at the car. Like, just, what the fuck? Hey, what? Get the fuck. Get it. Bang. So I bring this up because you should know what happens when you hit an animal on the highway. They didn't teach me this in driver's ed, right? So I hit the deer, and the first thing that happens is swearing. Swearing, a lot of swearing. Then I hit the hazard lights. That was the first thing I did, is I hit the hazard. And that's when I realized, I don't think I've ever used the hazard lights before. I've never... Some people use them all the time, right? You see them on the highway, just, oh, it's really bad out. Hey, it's slippery conditions, right? It's winter. It's white out. The roads, oh, it's really slippery. You know what? Yeah, there we go. Right? Now we're in a dome of safety. That's fine. Now everybody knows I'm an idiot, okay? So I'm on the side of the highway, hazards on. Everybody's okay, okay, yeah. 911, I guess I'll call 911. 911, what's your emergency? Yeah, I hit a deer. Okay, where are you? Canada? I don't know. You tell me. So they figured out where I was, and this is what happens. 911 figures out where you are, and then they send everybody. Everybody shows up. You got 10 minutes of quiet, then it's like paramedics and the fire truck and local cops and the RCMP and a gospel choir shows up. And porta potties are set up. There's a carnival, food trucks, a marching band comes through, a little league softball game breaks out, the cast of Degrassi, The Next Generation. Stop sending people. So then I gotta call insurance, right? You think it's annoying being put on hold, right on the side of the highway, staring at you. Your call is important to us. Oh, yeah. It starts to sound sarcastic after a while. Oh, your call is important to us. Oh, please, stay on the line. Stupid music is playing. And I thought, well, they can't just put any song on insurance, right? You're on hold with insurance, you don't want to hear, oops, I did it again. Probably not the best. My car was a write-off, guys. A 100% write-off, and it was my dream car. I've wanted this car forever. I finally got my Porsche 911, less than 5,000 kilometers on it, boom, and that deer took it right out. I know. I'm kidding. I'm in Canadian show business. It was a Hyundai Elantra, but it was my Hyundai Elantra. You guys are fantastic. You guys got a great show ahead.